Hello, hello, hello. What's going on today? Right on, right on. It is terrific. Tuesday, Evolve for Success. Yesterday we had, wow. Yesterday we had Team Up for Success, and now today we got Evolve for Success. So there's our picture from yesterday. They running the lions and the elephant. There they go. They teamed up, and now today, let's get this fixed for you. Now today, they've teamed up for success. Here you go, right here. Right on, right on, right on. So there they go. There they evolved. And look at the evolution. Now the lions got tusk and the elephants got tusk. And if you notice, they're walking together because they had a full night to get it together. And so they decided that they weren't going to let the fire stop them as they walked through the savannah. So if you notice, the fire's behind them, and it's real dark. It's got smoke behind them. It's got fire still around them, but they're almost out. Notice they're going up to the high ground a little bit, and they're rolling. So now they're more of a team concept, but they evolved. Bigger tusk, bigger teeth. Depends on how you look at it. And so there that is, and there that goes. So that's how you got to be every day. You got to roll with that. And we were able to make this picture yesterday as we did the other, and they rendered in about less than 5 minutes, about 3 minutes and 10 seconds to be exact. And straight AI off of appai.site, where they teach intelligence easily. And so they were rolling through and said, let's make them evolve. And so if you notice that they're on equal footing, and that equal footing equals champions, and that equal champions equals a championship because they made it through the fire. And they're running through the fire, and they're overcoming the fire, and they're being extremely positive. But they're still predators. They're still enemies. You could say frenemies, but they've gotten together because they evolved. So that means that their thinking evolved. Oh, and there's our favorite person. There's Total on the Square Elegance One. Hello, everyone, and happy Tuesday, and happy to you too, and happy Tuesday to everyone else also. And so we just want you to know that when you start running your show, you become that person. You become the person that you always wanted to be. And you don't have to be narcissistic, and you don't have to be bad. You don't have to step on each other's toes. But when you're running it, you got to make decisions, which other people may attempt to get you as saying that you're narcissistic, but you're not. When you're running a situation, you see the whole profile, you see the whole holistically, you see the situation. That's what makes you a great leader. So the lion was the first to lead out into this fire. So the lion was always telling the elephant, you got to keep up, you got to come with me. And so now there's two of them. And so now what that means is they're enjoying this championship together. And that brings me to my first point. In order to win a championship and you got a team concept and you starting to evolve, is you got to lessen the impact of your issues. You got to get rid of them. Even though in the normal things of life, in a normal savannah life, these two might be mortal enemies. But because there was a fire and all the animals had to run, humans included, whoever was out there, they had to team up and they had to evolve into a better individual. So overnight they evolved. Better tusk or better teeth. And so the lion is specifically who we're talking about here. Even though he was the leader, still had to evolve to make better teeth. So that now, if he needs to get with the elephant got to deal with it. And then the lion has to deal with the elephant. So is it equal footing? Maybe. Maybe it's not. Maybe they're too equally yoked, but we know that they're still running and they're going together. So if you're going through the fire today, we want you to say, just evolve into the better person that you can become or that you need to be. And the reason why is because you got to move forward at all costs sometimes. And so we've all been there and we're all doing it. And sometimes, it's just one of those things. But remember, the best part of being you is that you always got a chance to change for the better. You also got a chance to change for the worse. But it depends on which side of the coin you look at it, and how your mentality and intellect is. And so that's the part of it. That's why we're evolved for success today, because we're going to have success no matter what, and we're going to keep evolving. And so that's how you got to be. And am I preaching to you? No. This is just the basic tenets of life. And that brings to our second point. There's some parts of life that you have to do when you have a family unit and they count on you, or you're the follower, or you're the kids, or whatever you are in that hierarchy. You got to keep evolving because that DNA goes into the family unit and it makes a family unit. And we're not talking about just nuclear families. We're talking about non-traditional families. We're just talking about any kind of families, the flock, the herd, the pod, whatever it is. Everybody contributes and everybody wins. Or is it everybody wins and everybody contributes? It just depends on you. So your contribution is what makes things go. And those contributions added up and strung along by many people working together can produce a championship. Sometimes you might not win the championship that year, but you still won. Even when you thought you lost, you still won. And the reason why you still won because you moved forward to get to that point. And so what? You didn't make it, but you just didn't make it that day. But you still had success some kind of way because you were still in the arena ready to go. And that's their arena. Savannah is their everyday arena. And the fire was the enemy, or is the enemy. And so they team together to get up out of there, no matter what. Now it'll go back to being what it needs to be once that fire goes or they move to a new area. But for right now, they're living to fight another day. And that's how you got to be. You got to dust it off. So look at them. They're running through the dust and the fire and the sparks. So you got to dust yourself off and get off and go again. And that's how it works. You can learn a lot from wildlife. You can learn a lot from other people. When you can understand and discern and put that in your life to make yourself be a better individual, then you're going to grow, and you're going to grow accordingly. So when you grow into your life path, whatever it is that you are supposed to do, whether it be good, bad, or evil, or a combination thereof, it only matters that you're doing what your life path says you're supposed to do. Now you get choices. You get a fork in the road. Sometimes you get three or four forks. And so what happens is that those forks in the road become who you are by which path you take. I chose to take the entrepreneurial path. So that means that my fork in the road came with other forks down the road as a cliche. So those forks made me be and forged me. Just like you see these two animals here. They're getting forged. And they're forged by fire, which in human terms means you got to deal with issues and you got to deal with situations and you got to have solutions. And that's the whole point. And then you become a work in progress. If you become a work in progress, you're going to be a champion in the end because you're going to constantly work on what those issues are and what they aren't. And what I mean by that, by what they aren't, is sometimes you can have issues that aren't there. They're just put in your life. And so when you team up or when you evolve, you realize what they are, and then you don't even have to fool with them because you're already above them. You just fly above them. You fly through them, above them, a combination thereof, and that's how it works. So we were just saying today that the best things in life are those that make you be better. That's why you have to be forged. Some people are born with silver spoons, platinum spoons, wooden spoons, and a wooden spoon with mildew on it. So it just depends, but it's up to you what you're going to make of it. But you got to escape the forges to get through the other side. So whatever it is, if you're a spider born in the back of a warehouse, and let's rephrase that. Since we're going authentic, we're not going to edit that out. Authenticity is everything to me when I'm doing these podcasts. Say you're a spider born in the back of an exterminator's warehouse where they store the chemicals. Let's rephrase again. Say you're a spider born in the back of a chemical exterminator's warehouse. What do? Well, you set up before the word go. So it's up to you to get through there. So you got to use all your all your tools. You got webs, you got about a gang of legs, you got what you need. You got specialized eyesight, and you know how to hunt. So you got to use all those to get out of that place. So then you only become a hamster on a wheel when you stay in that place and brave the danger. Then it becomes a foolish and an ignorant situation because you've now limited yourself. That's why we had hamster wheelology last week for that. And before that, we had hogorific, where you just put your head down and let your tusk do the talking and keep rolling and charging. So that's why we're saying all these things because they're all relevant. So we're talking about them just on different levels. So these two right here are who they are. So you can join us on different platforms. Guess what? We're Date App on Twitch, Date App on YouTube, Kick, we're David Norford, and then we also have a Rumble account. We're David Norford AI. So anyway, we want you to have a great day. And like I always say, what I want for myself, I want for others. And what I want for others, I want for myself. I am your host with the most, David, or Mr. David to you. And I'm proven. Have a great day. Don't forget if you're in business, I'm RTI, real time on demand. And don't forget, I used to be Date App too, also. So there you go. There you have it. And there it is. Hello and be blessed. Do your best and be better than the rest. So have a great day. And we want to thank you for joining us today. And be you and do you and overcome you. Right on, right on, right on. This is your host with the most, Mr. David, signing off.